is in heaven. But today, our teachers are making demands for their reward right here on earth. Well, they say other public sector workers are enjoying comfortable salaries with the introduction of the single spine salary structure, and for several months they have been in arrears. They're asking for their pound of flesh, or better still, their share of the national cake. NAGRAT, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, has issued an ultimatum to government to pay their salary arrears since March 2011 by Friday, 25th of January, or they will embark on an indefinite strike. This, in fact, will not be the first time NAGRAT has issued such a threat and embarked on such actions. Are their concerns falling on deaf ears? We'll find out. And are they being irrational in their demands? We'll also put these questions to both factions. Have these agitations become a norm and an annual ritual? Is it even any news to hear of these strikes? My name is Stephen Enti, and you're welcome to PM Express tonight, Wednesday, is Corporate Wednesday. We're taking the opportunity to discuss money. In the studio tonight, I have in my immediate, to my immediate left, Christian Adaipoku, who is the president of NAGRAT. He'll tell us what exactly their problems are. And then next to him, I have Cornelius Yorsen, who is the head of grievances and negotiations at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. And he will also tell us if these teachers are being catered for fairly, I must say. My name is Stephen Enti, and it's great to have you here. You can join us by text 1760. Post your comments on our Facebook or facebook.com/JoyNewsOnTV. We're also on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is JoyNewsOnTV as well. So you can join the show, and then we'll get rolling. So, gentlemen, it's great to have you in the studios.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's PM Express. Let me start the discussion by asking this 25th January ultimatum. I'll put a question to you, Christian. This 25th January ultimatum, really, why 25th? Why exactly do you want the Fair Wages Commission or government in general to address your concerns by that particular date?
Thank you very much. We have 7 issues on the table. Some of them transcends 2011. We have tried in many ways to try to amicably resolve the issues. But it looks like because we have tried to use peaceful ways to settle the issues, people are taking us for granted. 2012, around November, there was so much agitation on the ground. Teachers were ready to take action. Because of the election time, we thought that it would not be good in the eyes of the public for such an action to be taken. So we reiterated our position by writing to the authorities, reminding them of the need to sit down and make sure that the right thing is done. If I should go through them one after the other, the first thing has to do with vehicle maintenance allowance that we pay to public sector workers. Every public sector worker who has a vehicle and uses it for his job is entitled to vehicle maintenance allowance, and it is paid. But the whole of last year, not a penny was paid to any teacher. Meanwhile, other public sector workers received theirs, and we have evidence to back that. We also have problems with what we call incremental credits. Every teacher that is employed in the Ghana Education Service, in your appointment letter, it stated that your incremental credit starts or takes effect every September of the ensuing year. But for 3 years now, incremental credit has stopped. If I should go into it a little, there is the incremental jump that really differentiates a newcomer from somebody who has been in a system for a long time. So if you are on a salary level, every year, ideally there should be appraiser. Then based on that, you're supposed to move a step within the level. So that if I am employed this year, the next year,
and you are, say, at salary grade point 3, you expect that the next year you should move to 4.
4. So that the person who came after me, there will be some differences in salaries. But we have been stagnated for the past 3 years. What is happening is that somebody who was employed in 2010 receives the same salary as somebody who has been employed in 2013. And that is not fair. We have spoken about this, we have written letters.
But if they have different qualifications, that should be fair.
Even
different qualifications and experience,
assuming
that should be fair.
All other things being equal.
Okay.
The only factor being the number of years you have spent on the job. There should be that kind of seniority existing, but that is now missing. It's a unilateral decision that was taken by the employer without recourse to us. And we think that it's not fair. We have written letters upon letters to get this thing resolved. It's not being resolved. Then after that, we also talk about categories of allowances. Upon the implementation of the single spine pay policy, public sector workers migrated onto the single spine. We categorized allowances into 4 main categories. And one of them, when they did the job evaluation, it became part of the pay, the basic pay. That is the category 1. Categories 2 and 3, the agreement was that those who enjoyed them will continue enjoying them until we harmonize and standardize allowances. It has taken us almost 3 years now. Those who have migrated and they were enjoying those allowances continue to enjoy. But those of us who were not enjoying such allowances before our migration, upon our migration, we are not enjoying. So the problem now is that if you go to organized labor and you get a group that has been enjoying all the allowances we are talking about, that group is not keen on impressing upon Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to negotiate allowances because they are already enjoying the allowances. So what's the noise about allowances? But for those of us who have not been enjoying, we think that it is not fair that for 2 years, getting to 3 years now, we have been denied that opportunity. In 2011, it was agreed at the stakeholders meeting that we're going to use 5 months. That was April 15th April 2011 to 18th May 2011 to negotiate allowances. 5 weeks. If you go to Ministry of Finance website, you'll find this information there. But then, at a point in time, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission came out with a suggestion that they wanted to migrate everybody before everybody, the negotiation of the allowances. They have migrated 98% of public sector workers. Of the 98%, almost 50% are GES workers. And the GES workers are the people who are not enjoying these allowances at all. Even in medical research, if you do your Chromback Alpha and you get 9.8, that is 98%, you are almost close to perfection. So why do you allow 2% to hold the 98%?
So you still haven't told me why you chose January 25th.
Yes,
as the deadline.
I'm just trying to educate the public on the issues.
We can understand your grievances.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
As I was saying, you can see that the issues have been lingering for a very long time. So we had a National Council meeting, and the council said, no, enough is enough. We have done enough. As we speak, we are getting closer to the writing of SSCE. West Africa Examination Council examination is one of the issues that we have raised. If that issue is not resolved now, by the time we get to the examination, if we want to wait, we will get closer to the examination, and then when you take any action, everybody will think that you are trying to attack the examination. So get the people to do what they are expected to do before the time. That is why we have given that deadline.
Ultimatum. So, Mr. Yelson, you've heard it. I'm sure that you have been in negotiations with NAGRAT, and you've heard their petition, you've heard their concerns over and over again. I mean, what is the position of the Fair Wages Commission on all of this?
Yeah. Let me first say that we are not in negotiation with NAGRAT.
Who are you in negotiation
That's the
with?
first thing. You
Who
see,
are you
when
in
the single
negotiation
spine
with?
salary policy came into being, it was agreed between all the parties to to form the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiation Committee, umbrella body for all unions, all organizations, all associations, all institutions in the public sector. So it is this body that we are negotiating with.
Okay.
That's the first issue. So we are not negotiating with NAGRAT.
You're not negotiating directly with NAGRAT,
yes,
but you are negotiating with their representatives. Is that correct?
Hold on. You see, there are a lot of issues.
Okay.
We are negotiating with the Public Services
Commission.
Joint Standing Negotiating Committee. In fact, one association said it was not going to be part of that body. And the association went to court. And the court ruled that they should go back and join the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee for the purposes of negotiations. I didn't know this issue. I would have brought the judgment and you would all hear. So that's the first thing that we are talking about. The second thing is that every association, you see, in every institution or in an occupational groups, because of our constitutional provision that 2 or more persons can join or form a union, you can have a multiplicity of unions in the same job classification, occupational group. So, for example, in the education sector, we have NAT, Ghana National Association of Teachers. We have NAGRAT. We have Coalition of Concerned Teachers. Some may come up later, we don't know. So the law is clear that when you have so many unions, what happens is that in order not to have, excuse my use of the word, sanity in the system, where you are meeting with them, one of them leads. The one that leads is the one with the, what we call the bargaining certificate. All the others will come along with the one with the bargaining certificate, and together we negotiate. But the person who speaks, the person with the bargaining certificate. So the bargaining certificate, it is written on it that you being the union with the largest number of employees or membership in this category, you are hereby given the bargaining certificate. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that, you see, the single spine salary policy was to be rolled over a 5-year period, over phases. The first phase was migration onto the single spine salary structure, which, as we have said, we are towards the end of completing this one. Last year, in order that the second phase, which is the categories 2 and 3 allowances, can be rolled out quickly, we initiated the processes to have discussions towards discussion of or negotiation of the categories 2 and 3 allowances. We did that, one, by defining in the first place what the allowances are in the first place. So many allowances. What are they? What is the definition? In what circumstances would you be entitled to that allowance? That's the first, which we sent back to the Public Services Joint and Negotiating Committee. However, towards the end of last year, it was agreed together that finish up the migration so that January, come next, the first quarter of the year, we will start doing something about the categories 2 and 3 allowances.
Okay.
Which, as I'm speaking, as we are here today, a technical committee which handles all the post-migration issues, including categories 2 and 3 allowances, has been set up. Indeed, as I'm speaking, tomorrow, it's Friday, tomorrow is Friday, tomorrow next Friday, the committee is meeting to draw up its terms of reference. The committee was inaugurated towards the end of last year. 2 weeks ago, we met. I'm a member of the committee. Teachers are represented on that committee. We met, and then we looked at our mandate together. So it's not true to say that nothing is being done about the issues that have been raised. Indeed.
But you're not doing good enough
but before
or fast enough or what?
Let me say something. Indeed, it is not fair wages only, which is doing something about it. It is the Public Services Joint and Negotiation as a body. The fair wages represent government on that body. Minister of Employment is there, Minister of Finance is there, and then the unions. So it is one body. So it is a bit not too fair to segregate one group or say you are not doing, because our group will work together. That's why the Public Services Committee gave us a homework to go and define the allowances, which we brought back to them. We didn't do a unilateral thing.
So exactly what are you telling these teachers who have threatened to lay down their tools?
You don't,
on
excuse my
January
use of the
25th,
word, you don't just get up and threaten. There must have been some negotiation ongoing. And then negotiation has broken down or there's a deadlock. Then you issue notice that you know something. If you don't resolve this deadlock by this date, we are going to Labour Commission and you're giving dates. Labour
So
Commission
you think that NAGRAT has no case to first threaten?
At all. NAGRAT has no case at all. You see, NAGRAT has no case at all.
But, I mean, government through the then Deputy Minister of Education, Muhammad Yariga, promised to conclude and pay arrears of all graduate teachers by October 19 last year, after NAGRAT threatened to go on strike.
No, I think there's something wrong
have those
here.
been paid?
There's something wrong here. There's no teacher who has arrears of salary. That one,
is that the case?
When he was even mentioning, arrears.
He is generalizing it. Actually, the arrears is not one of the grievances, but there are teachers who have been whose salaries have been in arrears for 2 years and so on.
But that has nothing to do with
the current
policy, actually.
But there are arrears there.
Okay, so you've heard Mr. Yosin saying that you have no case at all to even threaten in the first place. What's your reaction to that?
It's laughable.
Laughable?
Yes, because he knows. As I was talking about the issues, I said some people for 2 years now have been enjoying some allowances. Let's give hypothetically that somebody who migrated onto the single spine with fuel allowance for the past 2 years, the person is being paid 202 Ghana cedis as fuel allowance. The person continuously takes that allowance for 2 years now. Teachers do not have it. We didn't have it before we came onto the single spine because on the GUSS, all allowances were consolidated. So we came onto the single spine without any allowance. So we go without the allowance for 2 years. Somebody is enjoying it. And so you tell me there is a joint standing negotiation committee working and almost all the members are already enjoying it and some people are not enjoying it. You think you should shut up and sit down? That's not fair.
Are you not being irrational, really?
We are not being irrational at all. We are rational in our approach to the issues. We have written letters to Fair Wages and Salaries Commission on many occasions, reminding them. The last time that the Joint Standing Negotiation Committee met, it was because NAGRAT organized a press conference and threatened that if negotiation did not resume, we were going to go on strike.
And then negotiations resumed.
The Minister of Education at the time had to engineer the first meeting that was in August.
So you are now seeing that threats work. Is that what's motivating you?
I'm just trying to make a point.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just trying to make a point. From August that they had that meeting, we have never met again as Public Sector Joint Standing Negotiation Committee. 2, in October, 1st October, NAGRAT, we met Mr. Graham in his office. We had a discussion, and he explained certain issues to us. So we asked that, okay, come and meet our teachers. We brought 4,000 teachers to Sunyani. He met them, had a discussion. Teachers asked him directly, so when are we going to get our allowances? Mr. Graham said, by the end of 2012, negotiation would have been concluded so that from January, people will start enjoying the allowances. From October up to December, we have written 2 letters to them, reminding them of that promise. They have not even acknowledged those letters, let alone.
So, Mr. Yosin, when are these promises to be honored?
Mr. Graham is not here, and I'm not privy to what he's saying. I'm not in the position to confirm or deny what he's saying.
But what can you confirm?
That's the first thing. The second thing is that it is not true that the Ministry of Education can engineer the meeting of the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiation Committee. That one is also not true. You see, we have a timetable that we follow. As the issues come, we meet. We discussed it. The last time we met, it was about the payment of the arrears of the single spine salary structure. And that was not in August. You see, let me explain something to you. Today, we were at the National Labour Commission. Indeed, following their threat, the threat by NAGRAT, the National Labour Commission invited the parties, including the Minister of Education, which is the agent of the employer, Government of Ghana. We all went there, you understand. In fact, even as yesterday, the Minister of Education met the unions and the associations. They met NAT, they met Coalition of Concerned Teachers. I don't know if NAGRAT was there, but I think later on I heard NAGRAT didn't turn up. At that meeting, please listen carefully, at that meeting it was agreed that all the unions that are subsumed in the education classification are going to cooperate and collaborate on the issues that concerns them. And indeed, that they recognize that the NAT has a bargaining certificate, and therefore they are going to cooperate with them and come along and look at their issues together. That's number one. Today, we met at the National Labour Commission at 12:30. I was there myself, Minister of the Director General of Ghana Education Services, representative was, I think he's the Deputy Director General or something like that. He was there. We were all the coalition of concerned teachers were there. A human resource Ghana Education Service was there. We were all there. On the issue of allowances, I explained that you know something. The policy is that pending the completion of the negotiation of the allowances, category 2 and 3 allowances, whatever you are doing currently, the existing allowance must continue. And indeed, the Labour Commission gave directive, the Ghana Education Service, that henceforth, whatever allowances was pending, was being given prior to the single spine policy, should be given. You see, NAGRAT didn't turn up. They brought a letter quite late in the day that they cannot be there for one reason or the other. Fine. But you are the one who issued the threat of a strike in the meeting.
But it's also because NAGRAT is not very optimistic about this meeting, because they've had a series of meetings, nothing has come out of it. I mean, if you were in their shoes, possibly you will have similar doubts.
You see, that's why I'm telling you that today at the meeting at the National Labour Commission, the National Labour Commission gave directive, the Ghana Education Service, that you know something. But I said that I don't see where the problem is, because existing allowances are to be paid. So if it's not being paid, then the agent of the employer is not doing his work. And therefore, they were giving directive that you know something. If they are due for allowances, maintenance, or whatever, pay them pending the negotiation of the categories 2 and 3, after which all these allowances will be phased off, and then they do not be standardized and harmonized. If this is an issue of increments, you have to write to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission that we met, and then we have decided that these allowances have been pending for so long. Can you increase it? We will then request the Ministry of Finance to approve it. And then it goes to Accountant General for payment. You see, so NAGRAT should have been there. Today, we achieved a lot, the National Labour Commission. But they were not there, because I don't think, they don't want to be horse riders. They don't want to ride on the back of NAT. But the laws are clear that the mother union is the mother negotiation. You ride on their back. And concerned teachers were there riding seriously on the back of NAT. And they were so happy themselves there, because so much was achieved today. Today, I told the Labour Commission, you know something, today's meeting has been so fruitful. All the issues that he raised, we looked at them one by one. We were given timelines to look at them. We come to the Labour Commission to come and give report on all the issues. Some of them are the purview of the public service giants, and some others, like the allowances he's talking about, some of them have nothing to do with fair wages at all. But we were there to ensure that, and we're happy what happened. You see, so I will invite them the next time when they call them, even if they are riding on the horse. Can you get riding on a horse?
Mr. Daipoku, you have a reaction to that?
You see, I said what he was saying was laughable. If he started painting the picture that everything was all right. Now you have gone to the Labour Commission. They have given rulings according to your statement. Now you have had, today you have had a fruitful discussion, meeting. What instigated that meeting? The letter that Labour Commission brought to us invited NAGRAT. It's unfortunate I didn't bring mine. And he will attest to the fact that the letter invited NAGRAT, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and Ghana Education Service. The letter didn't invite Ghana National Association of Teachers. It didn't invite concerned teachers. I don't know how they got there. The letter came to me. So it was distributed to these three groups.
This you would say possibly was an engineered meeting.
We did not go there, not because we didn't want to ride on somebody's back.
So why didn't you go?
The letter directly invited NAGRAT, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and then GES. We had serious concerns somewhere, and we duly wrote to the Labour Commission.
So we'll take a quick break, and when we return, you tell me about those concerns. My name is Stephen Enti. I'm here and having a chat with Cornelius Yorson, who is the head of grievance and negotiations at the Fair Wages Commissions and Fair Wages and Salaries Commissions, and Christiana Daipoku is the president of NAGRAT. We'll take a short break. Meanwhile, you can send in your text 1760 and post your Facebook comments on our Facebook wall, facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Stay with us. Welcome back to PM Express, and tonight we're discussing NAGRAT's position. Pay us or we strike. I have some comments that are coming in. I'll read a few of them. Azongo Al-Hassan, you say that teachers are being treated unfairly. And Akimides Ohenibafosu says, teacher trainees have not received our allowances for the past 1 and a half years. And Senna Little says FWSC, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, can't hide behind the numbers not to pay teachers what is due them. Pay them well, give them good teaching, learning materials, supervise them well, and see if they will not perform. And Boklo Raphael Seth says teachers deserve to be treated like other professionals. We want our allowances now. Dango Philly Kasim says it is really unheard of. Everybody talks about good education, but no one talks about the fulcrum around which it revolves. Shame. Richard Ackland will have to come back and expose that we teach them wrong point of view and why. I don't know who is Richard Ackland, maybe some academic expert or something of the sort. And Yushau Abdullah says, teachers are the nation builders, yet the least respected. This is as a result of poor conditions of service. I will urge leadership, NAGRAT, NAT, CCT, to face the commission boldly, to fight for the plight of teachers. We are strongly behind you. God help us all. And Thomas Tinkrang, you say an MP is receiving 7,200 Ghana cedis and professional teachers receive about 650 Ghana cedis. What a cheat. I pray that they will not give up until their petition is heard. Prince Achampong, he's laughing and says teachers and strike is equal to Siamese twins. Well, that's not very fair also, Prince. And then Frank Kwame Asari says that, can you imagine a child I taught 8 years ago earns more than I do as a policeman? He now owns 2 cars, 2 plots of land somewhere in Accra, and even has the guts to advise me to leave the teaching field. Well, Frank Kwame Asari, I don't know what your choice might be, whether you go to the police service also so you can earn more, or stay with the teaching profession where you can make a decent living and await your reward in heaven, maybe. And Henrietta Asari says teachers are now receiving salary in batches. Some got theirs last week, others yesterday, and some of us, it seemed very laughable, the kinds of comments I'm reading, Ms. Yosin. They're funny. You can laugh about them, but these are serious matters. The teachers' salaries are coming in batches now. Is that what it is?
It has nothing to do with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. We don't pay salaries. We sit, we negotiate the structure, etc. You know. Okay. I'm not in the position to
answer that. Okay, so a friend even got her December salary this January. Where from all this? We live in a funny country. This is still a part of the Henrietta Asari's message. Isaac Darko says, Nat, you better let us join the strike. Not executives awake. Well, you can send more of your comments to Facebook, facebook.com/Joy News on TV, I beg your pardon. And you can post, you can follow us on Twitter as well. Our Twitter handle is Joy News on TV as well. My name is Stephen Anti. So, gentlemen, let me get back to NAGRAT and perhaps get a better understanding. Good. I got this text message which says teachers receive 650. What is the average that teachers are receiving? And when the migration to the single spine is completed, how much more are they expecting to add? Well,
the average I wouldn't be in a position to tell because it depends on the person.
How much do you earn as a teacher? And what is your grade?
I am assistant director.
Assistant director.
Director 2. I'm going to.
Be honest. Give me a range of your salary, maybe.
Assistant director 2
so that we can work by that.
Doesn't earn more than 1,000 Ghana cedis.
I see. So if you earn 1,500, then you must be
more
really
than
lucky.
1,000 Ghana cedis.
I see. So when you are migrated to single spine, how much then is an assistant director expecting
that is
get?
What I'm talking about on the single spine. That is what they range.
Right.
But then what I'm saying is that the problem has to do not with the basic salary. The problem has to do with allowances and market premium. Mr. Yossi would defend it everywhere that they are not paying market premium. But we have evidence to show that an institution is getting 80-something, between 80 and 89% of their basic salary as market premium. Some are getting over 100% as their market premium. Others are getting 50% as market premium. And that is where the cheating is coming from. And that is where they have tried to hide the facts. They tell you the people were enjoying certain allowances already, certain salaries, and therefore, upon their migration, they decided to convert it into market premium. But what I know is that under the principles of the single spine, if what you were taking before the single spine is higher than the level that you are, that one is converted into what we call a conversion difference. And that means anytime there is salary increase, instead of your salary going up, you have the conversion difference coming down. But this is market premium on people's pay that they enjoy. Even when there are increases, they get increases.
So how much do you want, really, in money terms? How much are
we
you
want
asking
a lot.
for?
We
These
want a lot.
allowances, you've spoken about, I know incremental credits, market premium, payment of vehicle maintenance allowance. How much in money terms do you want that will make you maybe shut up and not strike?
We want a lot. Maybe 80% on our pay as market premium, as some people are getting. Because look, if you go to GES right now, teachers who have master's degrees, some even have PhD and so on, they are all leaving the GES. The quality that we are supposed to have, professional teachers that the nation has spent money to train, are leaving for other public sector, and I mean other sectors. But you hardly see people who are professionals being attracted into the teaching service, except those that we train ourselves.
This is very worrying, right?
That is the point, because the conditions within the Ghana Education Service compared to even public sector, even within the public sector, is really, really bad. And if you compare it to outside, it's even worse. And that is why market premium is needed for teachers.
Mr. Wilson, I mean, we've been hearing market premium. What exactly is this market premium under the single spine policy that is raising its ugly head with NAGRAT, which, well, I mean, it's one of the reasons they're striking.
Yeah, but before we go there, you see, the whole idea of the single spine salary policy was that if your job is equal to my job, you receive the same pay.
Does it matter your qualification?
It's not about qualification. It's about the job you are doing. If you have a PhD, you are teaching class 1, I'm not going to pay you as a PhD because you are above that level. You see, it's a lot of misconception. I didn't want, otherwise it will be a debate. But you are doing a particular job, and that job has a minimum qualification for doing that job. And so you are paying for that job. It's not about qualification or anything of that nature.
But you need qualifications
Hold
in
on.
order to
I'm
be
saying that there's a
effective
minimum,
and bring a certain quality.
Hold on, there's a minimum qualification or requirement for any job. For a job as a lecturer, you need this. For a job as a doctor, you need this. For a job as a nurse, you need that. Let's get that one very clear.
Please,
otherwise there will be a lot of miseducation
miseducation
out there.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but within Ghana Education Service, the minimum qualification to teach in a secondary school is a first degree.
Which many of
the
your
minimum
members
qualification for a secondary school teacher is not the same as minimum qualification for a primary school teacher.
Yeah, so let me explain. So for that person,
but a primary school teacher who has a first degree and a secondary school teacher who has a first degree are paid the same.
So, Mr. Wilson, where does the
let me tell
disparity
you
come?
something. See,
Yeah.
for the person who teaches in the secondary school and has a particular pay.
Mr. Adai Poko here teaches, is a headmaster of a senior high school.
I'm not
right?
headmaster, but I'm a teacher in a secondary school.
You're a teacher in a senior
You
high
see,
school.
so
Right.
if you teach in a school and the job evaluation says that your job is equivalent to assistant director 2 or whatever in the civil service, your pay is the same. You see, that's the whole idea of the single spine salary policy. Everybody, depending on the value or the weight of your job, you are giving comparable salary. That's number one. The idea of the allowances is the same also. We are trying to standardize it now, henceforth. All public sector workers are going to have the same group of allowances. It's not going to be that Ghana Education Service doesn't have this allowance, these people have, etc. And then we are going to harmonize. Harmonize means that the same amount will be paid as for the civil servant, as for the teacher, as for the nurse, etc. So let's get these things straight. There's probably no time. I don't want, sometimes what he says is a bit, goes off a bit because if somebody is not out there who doesn't understand, he may think what he's saying is that it's not so.
Please, I'm not lying.
Please, let me finish.
I'm not lying.
But I'm not saying you are lying, please.
But what you are saying, that's the implication.
No, I'm not saying you are lying. I'm
the
saying
allowances that you are even talking about the allowances, there are some, we have divided them. There are some that are service specific, and there are some that will be applicable to everybody.
Yeah,
so if you just generalize and say that all will be the same, it's not true.
Hold on.
And even if it is going to be the same, for 2 years now, somebody is enjoying. Have you signed any agreement that says that when I am migrated in the next 3 years or the next 2 years, when you hit your 5-year deadline, I'm going to get allowance paid with retrospective effect from 2010?
When you say somebody is enjoying, you give the impression that somebody has approved allowance after single spine.
Whether it's approved or not, somebody is enjoying.
What I said was that
but is it true? Is it true that some others are receiving the allowances?
Hold on. It's not true.
So what are they receiving then?
Let me explain to you if you have time. You see, the single spine, the idea of the single spine is to have people have the same allowances. But prior to the single spine, the man has a certain group of allowances which he was enjoying. We have not negotiated 2 and 3. Why would you go and stop that allowance? So after we have negotiated the allowance,
so those who were enjoying allowances continue to enjoy. Those
what
who
I mean is that he
were
has
not
negotiated
are
for 2
not-
years.
are not
But he has negotiated a certain group of allowances which he's enjoying. If a nurse is enjoying ADHA, why do you go and take it from him? You understand? There's a lot of misinformation out there. If a nurse is enjoying ADHA,
So maybe you should clarify. So you mean that the allowances that people are enjoying are not exactly allowances for teachers. They are allowances
every classification has its group of allowances.
Okay.
You see, this policy is good for teachers
So
because
if
it's
you-
also a truth.
Okay.
It's also a truth that teachers didn't have a certain group of allowances. So the idea of the standardization and the harmonization is that everybody will be brought a par as far as allowances is concerned.
Standardized
But in the meantime that we've not implemented it, why do you go and take somebody's allowance? You're going to make him worse off. And the ILO does not allow that. And he knows that. So when we have finished the negotiations, we will now harmonize it and now implement it.
So really, what has been responsible for all this back and forth? Who should
Nothing has been
who should we
responsible.
blame? The
Boss,
Labour
nothing has been
Commission,
responsible.
Fair Wages, or GES,
But
Ministry of
nothing has been
Finance?
responsible. We are implementing a policy. I told you it's in phases. Some people have not even been migrated. You want to get them migrated, and then we look at the allowances. But even before we are finishing with it, we have started issues about these 2 and 3 allowances, which I've explained to you earlier. So we are doing them in tandem. At the end of the day, when we have finished, and when the policy has come to its conclusion, everything will have been standardized and harmonized. The salary itself will be the same as far as your job content is the same. The allowances will be the same, etc. You understand? And NAGRAT is part of the Public Service Joint Standing Negotiation, which is implementing the single spine together with government. And so, therefore, every issue in there, they are part of it. They have the duty to apprise themselves of the issues. They have a duty to understand the issues. They have a duty actually to participate in it.
You think they are not doing that? They are not apprising
You go
themselves
out there, out
with
of
the
the group
details.
which you are a member,
They are
the
not
group which
taking
is
part in
implementing
negotiations.
You go out of it and you accuse the group which you are a member of not doing the work. It's a bit surprising because you are a member of
I
the
think I
group.
have something to say. One thing that must be made clear is that the 2% who have not been migrated yet, and because of that 2%, we are
The
going
rest
to wait.
are suffering
We are
or
going
are
to wait for the
waiting.
next 2 years for him to hit his 5-year deadline that he's talking about, and because of which he is crawling. Slowly at the pace that he thinks that with that 50% of public sector workers who are teachers should
That
continue to
statistic is
suffer.
not proved. That statistic of 50%.
It's
is not proved.
estimated. That is the estimated.
Where did you
Boss,
get this
who
estimate?
gave you that?
Fair wages and
Where's
salaries.
your source?
The last time,
Your source, boss.
when teachers were, please, you have not been in the system for a very long time.
Don't say
When
that,
we were
please.
doing,
I don't like
when
to
we're
hear
doing the
that.
migration onto the single spine, teachers were 200 and something, and public sector workers are almost 500.
Do you know police their numbers? Do you know police numbers?
Is there any?
Do you know health workers their numbers? Don't say what you don't know.
Please.
Do you know health workers their
All right,
numbers?
so let's hear you, Mr.
Do you know
Adaibo.
nurses are
We
losing their
have
number?
more than 200,000 workers within Ghana Education Service alone, and public sector workers estimated at 500. Teachers are almost 250. That is what we had at the time that we were being migrated onto
So
the
that's
single
about
spine.
50%.
That is the point.
No, but that's the statistics.
That is what
You
I am
don't have
telling
any
you.
record here to show us.
What is yours?
What
No,
are
I'm not
what are your
Bring us the
Boss, I'm
figures.
not claiming
Then
anything
don't
here.
dispute it.
I'm not claiming here anything
Until you
here.
come here to disprove it, don't disprove it.
No,
when
but
you
don't
have the
say
figures.
something out there which
That is the figures
is not
we have.
verified.
At the time that we were being migrated, we were almost 250. And so when we say it with authority.
You seem to
that
be very,
when-
you seem to be very passionate, and are you hopeful that this time your demands will be met by
You see,
the threat
the
to
secret
go on
that
strike?
Fair Wages and Salaries Commission doesn't want to appreciate. and which we will continue to see, is that 50%, almost 50% of public sector workers, give them 10% salary increase. It throws national budget overboard. So crawl slowly and try not to get them onto the system. Get them no allowances, because if you give them 200 Ghana cedis fuel allowance, it throws national budget overboard. Give them 50% market premium, and national budget is in tatters. Okay, so delay them. 2% of public sector workers, not yet, 2% out of the 100. You have 2% not yet migrated. And because of that, the 98 must continue to suffer. And let me tell you, if you go into details, those 2%, they are enjoying all the categories 2 and 3 allowances we are talking about. They are already
There's
enjoying
nothing like category 2 and 3, proud to single spine, my boss.
Those allowances.
There's nothing like that. So when you say they're enjoying, what are you talking about?
Please. Those allowances that the category 2 and 3 are just classification that we have done. The allowances still exist.
You have
for example, if you take fuel allowance, category 2, somebody is enjoying category 2, fuel allowance. So whether it is enjoying it or whether you call it category 2 or you call it whatever, it is still an allowance.
Okay. Well, we have a couple of messages. I beg your pardon. I'll read some messages and we'll take a break and I'll take your reaction when we come back. Alukus from Tamale says, we cannot underestimate the transformational role teachers play. If you are able to read this, please thank a teacher. Definitely the teacher deserves much better salaries and other emoluments and not just peanuts. Joe, please ask Fair Wages and Salaries Commission when they will restore our allowances. And Kaba Edward says, Sankore, Edward Kaba is from Sankore, says, ask the leaders of NAGRAT why teachers were migrated to the single spine without the market premium as compared to other workers. And Sir Dochi Sokode says, please do not relent. We shall not relent. We shall strike if they choose to be belligerent. And Fair Wages FM says fair wages cannot be trusted. POTAC will follow NAGRAT soon. NAGRAT, press hard, and please NAGRAT, a bit patient be a bit patient for the sake of Ghana and your students. It go be for you, Keke. Well, President, be calm and remember your reward is in heaven. This is from Charles Agambere from Bolgatanga, and then this one from Kuyebere from Wa says, the Fair Wages man is wasting teachers' time. Not has same issues with them through letters. And then Peter from Bole says, if you think it's not you're dealing with in this case, wait for NAGRAT to strike and see what will happen. Well, Mr. Yosen, I'll take your reaction quickly before we go.
It's untrue, very untrue to say that because of the numbers. That's why
you said everything is untrue.
Yes,
it's either untrue or it's not a true reflection. What is the truth?
Let me explain to you. Why would government touch the single spine policy at all, which had as a motive, as a purpose, objective, to bring everybody at par, if they are afraid of numbers? Why would they touch it at all? Those 2% that you are talking about, you enjoy your single spine. You don't want him to enjoy his single spine. That's what you are saying. You see, that argument is so populist.
He doesn't want
on that note, I think we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us. Welcome back to PM Express. It's supposed to be Corporate Wednesday. We're talking about money. Money. Pay us or we strike. That's what NAGRAT is saying. So let me ask you, Mr. Yosen, what do you say to those critics who say that the Fair Wages Commission is being simply unfair to teachers? I mean, we've seen the jubilation of people in the police service and other security agencies, with their migration, and yet teachers still have to wait. This is unfair.
You see, a lot is misinformation.
Is it misinformation that they have to wait? No, they're waiting.
No, hold on.
And that's not misinformation.
The policeman, the prison officer, the fire service officer asked me his salary prior to the single spine. If I was receiving 5 million cedis before single spine, and you give me 6 million cedis, that would be 1 million difference, not so. If I was receiving 2 million cedis before single spine, and my job is now valued to be equal to 6 million, and I'm giving 6 million, what will be the difference? 4 million. So people will go out there and say, this. You see what I mean? That's number one. Number two, when you are evaluating a job, you are evaluating various factors, effort, mental effort, physical effort, responsibility.
And you think teachers don't put in
no,
these?
Hold on. The job evaluation was done by the teacher, was done by the fire service officer, was done by the policeman himself. The instrument is there, administered by himself. And after that, we achieve a certain result, which result says that your salary is this level, your salary is this level, etc. Look at the policeman, boss. He stands in the sun how many hours? 24 hours. Every policeman is on duty 24 hours.
Well, but they don't stand in the sun.
Hold on.
24 hours.
No, he's on duty. He can't go anywhere because he's on duty. Otherwise, you'll be a wall or whatever they call it. And then you have armed robbers, serious race of armed robbers. They're protecting. When I go to NAGRAT, my hometown, boss, every single way you see a policeman in some corner, like the story about the tortoise who was appearing.
So what? Are you suggesting that their job is more important than that of the police?
I'm saying that after the job was evaluated, it shot it to a certain level. It recognized what has not been recognized earlier.
And shot it to a certain level of importance.
It's not about importance, please.
So what is it about?
It's about the value or the worth of the job, the content, what the person does, based on the factors that are coming. You see, I'm not comparing at all with teachers. My father is a teacher, my wife is a teacher, all my siblings are teachers.
You should have been a teacher too.
I should have been a teacher.
But why didn't you be a teacher?
No, hold on.
You were afraid of earning less.
You know something? I can teach like nobody's business. You understand?
So that you'll be paid 650.
No,
How much do you earn now?
No, he said something earlier to you.
Yeah.
He said something earlier. It is not about the basic pay. He told you. So it means that when it comes, hold on, let me finish. When it comes to the basic pay, it has been leveled. He recognizes that, and I was very happy about that.
You allow him to talk too much.
But I also recognize
that
when it comes to, hold on. I recognize that when it comes to allowances,
let him make his point.
When it comes to allowances, they should be leveled. But we are saying that we are in the process of doing it, and they themselves are part of the process.
Are you on a single spine? You yourself?
No, not yet.
How much do you earn?
We are going to be the last on it.
How much do you earn?
You know something? You see, when you are talking about director in education service and director in civil service, it confuses.
So you are director equivalent
director
in the civil service. How much do you earn? I mean, give me an average.
If I tell you, why would I say my pay on
No, an average. I mean, he told me how much average he could earn. That he said that an assistant director will not earn more than 1,000.
You know that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyway, so let's hear from.
But let me finish the argument. You see, so at the end of the day, we recognize that the teacher must be brought at par with others when it comes to allowances. That is why we are standardizing it. That's why we are harmonizing it. But we are in the process.
But you're slow.
And we are saying that, no, he's part of it. He's a member of the Public Services Joint Standing, which is implementing it. You see, but Fair Wages has a job. It is doing in tandem with other things it's doing. We are going to do performance. We are doing all that together. We have set the thing in motion. We are all coming to a
So your conclusion, let me draw your conclusion. The conclusion is that they must wait and be patient.
By the half of this year, we're going to finish with that.
And then everything will be fine.
So, that is why you don't hear that the unions complain, because they understand it.
Stephen.
Yes.
But he doesn't want to understand
I have tried
to be
not
patient.
to bring
Facts and
other public sector workers into this, but he has made mention of one of them. Let me say that, yes, it is true that before the police were migrated onto the single spine, teachers were paid higher than them.
No, that's not what I said.
Please.
You made reference to the police service.
Don't interrupt me. Let me finish. When I finish, you can rebut. Yes, it is true. Upon their migration, a constable is around level 14. The teacher diploma is also at level 14. The difference is that when the police were migrated, they were given additional 40%. He's here. Let's find out where the 40% came from. It was added to their pay. And that is the difference. So if they are taking the same salary, he takes 40% in addition to that.
So you say certain things that are not verifiable.
Please, I have pay slips. Let the policeman call
right in here and ask
and tell us the public. They have operational allowance and another allowance. 90%.
But the police operational allowance is for operations. Teachers don't go on operations.
The police absolutely deserve the allowances.
But teachers should also be given their share.
What teachers are supposed to be given, they are dragging their feet on this. That is the problem. The police absolutely have no problem
who is to blame for all this dragging of feet?
It's the Fair Wages
no dragging of feet in the first place.
Please, I kept quiet for you to finish. Give me time. The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has decided to perpetuate teachers' poverty by making sure that they don't get market premium, they don't get allowances. That is all they're doing. Because they know that most of the public sector workers who have been migrated already have some allowances, have some market premium, and they are not worried about market premium and allowances. But teachers are taking Sakura salary. And therefore, they will continue to look for those things. And that is why you hear teachers always complaining. If they establish that equity, they are supposed to be fair. But Mr. Yossi is not being fair. Because he knows perfectly.
But why if you bring the money
home? Because you are taking big salary, and therefore that will compensate
your wife's
compensate for your wife's poverty. But my point is that, truly speaking, when teachers were being migrated, somebody asked a question why teachers didn't ask for market premium. Teachers were the first public sector workers to be migrated onto the single spine. At the time that we were being migrated, it was a mutual agreement between organized labor and then Fair Wages and Salaries Commission that market premium will be negotiated after migration. But now,
it didn't happen.
A lot of them are taking market premium.
Complete misinformation.
What is the correct information?
We are not implementing market premium. He knows it.
What are
so
you
should I mention names of institutions that are taking market premium?
I mentioned ADHA, remember?
Yes.
ADHA. You remember that before this, nurses were going away. You remember? Abroad.
They're still going away.
Oh, infinitesimal. He's going on his own frolics. You understand? Lectures. You remember before then, before the last administration introduced dollar policy, that you find a lecturer in the lecture room.
Oh, we went to the university.
Hold on. These policies.
Do you know how many teachers leave the classroom every year?
These policies were brought together so as to retain the health service worker, so as to retain the lecturer. And since that policy, boss, there has been reverse migration outside. You understand? When you are migrating, you take away the ADHA and therefore destroyed what the government did previously, a very good thing. No, you take care of that. And that is what we are giving, and he is saying we are paying market premium. We are paying market premium where? The market premium is the next phase after category 2 and
he knows that.
The guidelines have not come out.
You know that.
The guidelines now with Parliament, the Parliament is going to issue this, there will be a white paper, etc.
Mr. Yossi.
We are not implementing market premium.
Well, gentlemen, I have yeah.
He knows that if somebody's salary before migration and then compared to the single upon migration, the salary that he was taking previously is higher than what the single spine is giving. The person is giving conversion difference and no market premium. But we are talking about
the Public Service Joint Standing Committee together.
We have not agreed on anything like that.
I'll show you the list.
You went and met
those gentlemen, I still need to take some messages that are coming in from our viewers across the country. Ado from Takrady says that NAGRAT is too ambitious and has no respect for the law of Ghana. Ametakan says that, Stephen, please find out why NAT is not partnering NAGRAT in fighting for the teachers. Is it because NAT officials have allocated to themselves fat allowances so they don't care about other teachers whose money they are using to pay themselves? NAT members, rise up. Let's check NAT leadership. Kick NAT leadership out, I beg your pardon. And Sir John from Joje says teachers have been poor for far too long. And Konya Smith, Sokobang News Site, Kumasi says, my sister is having her master's and teaches in Aguna Suedru. For 2 years now, she has not been paid her car maintenance allowance. Teachers are well respected in Europe, where I studied. You're lucky to have studied in Europe. Please fight for my sister and all those who are being cheated. And Azongo from Pusiga says, bravo, NAGRAT. We teachers are solidly behind you. Fair wages, you're taking us for a ride. Solomon Takrady says, Ghana is a lawless country. Look, NAGRAT will violate the labor law and go on strike illegally, and nobody will punish them. God save Ghana. And Kwabena Santi says, yes, she'll stop the circumlocation and pay them. Just tell the whole world that you don't have the money and that you're not ready to pay. Quickly, gentlemen, this is how we're going to wrap up. I'll give you 1 minute to close your remarks before we...
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission should revise their approach to this issue.
Revise your approach
they
to the issue.
Avoid this Engade stance and make sure that they face the issues, they face
Revise your approach, Fair Wages Commission. Will you do that?
The teachers out there that nobody has any interest in putting anybody down. See, we are in the process of doing it. The salary, as my boss
So
said,
they should be patient. What's your reaction to their strike threat
Which
on
strike
25th.
the Labour Commission has called them today. The issues have been explained.
to negotiate.
The education service
There will be
brought
no
in.
strike.
So there's no issue of strike. In any case, we are not negotiating on them for a deadlock, for a strike. So the strike itself, I don't want to use the wrong words, but the strike itself.
Thank you very much,
problems with it.
Cornelius
Okay,
Yawson.
you can tackle yourself.
Cornelius
yourself.
Yawson is head of grievance and negotiations at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Christian Adaipoku is the president of NAGRAT, and he joined us. They both joined us in the studio. Thanks to you who made time to watch us. My name is Stephen Nt. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition of PM Express. Good night.